Hi, I'm Baran, and I love Hallmark movies.
I'm Dan, and I despise Hallmark movies.
I'm Alec, and I act in them.
And this is the Deck the Hallmark podcast.
Deck the Hallmark, it's his podcast.
Brandon and friends host this podcast. We hope you like this jolly podcast.
Yeah.
Boy.
We're back. We're back and better than ever.
Better than ever?
That's what people are saying.
Well, now that Alex is here, you told him he only looked okay.
Well, no.
You told him he only looked okay.
I told him.
You said he's on Philo.DTH. He looks great. He's centered in frame. He looks amazing. He looks way better than the two of us.
Okay.
And you said,
I
sound
said-
great, and you look fine.
No, I said you look good. And then I realized that
You sound
should've
great,
just-
though. That's right.
I didn't mean anything by it. I didn't mean anything by it. Alex Santos, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
This is very exciting for us because we've seen a couple of your flicks, and you are always so kind on social media. You always message us, and sometimes you share the show on your stories and stuff. It's
The
very
first
kind of
time
you.
that we reviewed an Alex Santos movie, we said he had serial killer vibes, and Alex Santos did not immediately block us. So that worked out well for us. We're thrilled that he understood that we didn't think he personally had serial killer vibes, but his character might have, is all we're saying. So Alex, thanks for being so kind to us.
No, thank you. I truly love your podcast. It's really, really funny. It's hilarious. If you can't make fun of yourself, what's the point?
That's right. He gets it.
Alec is here because he has an upcoming movie with The Fish, who
The
we
Fish.
love, friend of the show, The Fish, Machu Picchu,
Yes,
Machu Picchu.
That's right.
There's a lot of it's too many letters.
You just pronounce it.
Proposal, Machu Picchu,
Machu Picchu
proposal,
proposal.
which we will get to, of course. But before we get to the Machu Picchu proposal, I propose.
You're crushing it right now.
I propose
As good as you've ever been. You
Yeah,
said.
you propose.
I propose that we go back to the beginning. We
Oh,
go back
I like
to,
it.
where everything began. Tell us about where you were born and what you were like as a kid, and if you think that you could have won a baby and or toddler of the year award, which, by the way, isn't a joke for anybody other than Alec, and that's fine.
You were really latching on to this.
I know,
you
it's
were
baby,
just-
it's toddler of the year.
Yeah.
No.
Anyway, childhood, go.
I was born in Brasilia in Brazil. My mom's Brazilian and my dad is Canadian. And I think I definitely could have won toddler of the year, at least in Brazil.
Okay.
You think the competition was tougher in Canada?
Yeah, is it separated kind of like Miss Universe?
I'll get it. I need to
first?
look into more of the terms and conditions, and I'll get back to you on that. Yeah.
That's right.
But
So-
that's just for 2 to 3 year olds.
So you're fluent in Portuguese then?
I am. I'm fluent Portuguese and Spanish. So when I turned 11, I moved to Chile. I lived there for a couple of years. I finished high school in Miami, Florida.
okay.
I came to Vancouver in Canada for university. Really love this city, so I stayed here. I studied biochemistry, though.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
you speak 3 languages fluently. 3, is that
Mhm.
correct? And then
Right.
you have a biochemistry degree, and we're here yucking it up about serial killer vibes.
Well, they tend to be smart, the serial killers, don't they?
That
Yeah,
is
they do. That's true. That's true. That's true.
That is a good
Patrick
point.
Bateman, yeah.
What's interesting is he hasn't denied it.
No, he
So,
hasn't. Yeah.
If
Have you seen
anything-
Robin Williams in 1 Hour Photo? I mean, that guy was ruthless.
That's true. That's true.
So obviously, you spend a lot of times in different areas of the world. Was you mentioned that you liked Canada so much you stuck around, but any of those other areas do you miss those different parts of the world?
Yeah, definitely. Like I miss Latin America on like a daily basis. It's just the feel and the hominess of Brazil and the food and the culture. There is something definitely there to be missed.
What's you're off the top of your head, Brazilian cuisine? What's the one you'd want right now? Like if you could have a homemade from Brazil right now or at lunchtime, whenever that is in your neck of the woods, what would you have?
Right now, I'd have something called pão de queijo.
Okay.
which just translates to cheese bread, but it's a lot better than it sounds. It's delicious.
So
We have these booths everywhere that sell them there. They're hot and ready. It's, oh my God.
Oh, stop selling. Cheese bread sounds great. I know you tried to undersell it, but cheese bread
I love
hits.
a cheese bread.
Yeah, it hits.
I do want to ask you about this trivia fact that's on your IMDb, which is this: Alec Santos also serves as a substitute teacher for the Vancouver School District.
What?
Where students have described him as, quote, a pleasure, quote, a bit strange, but like a nice guy, and, quote, over the top. So tell me more about that.
So, yeah, I saw that on my IMDb. I guess one of my students must have written that, 'cause it's definitely... No, it definitely has that like teenager vibe to it. It's like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like just honest. And a couple of years into when I decided to become an actor, because it is something that I've loved since I was a kid. I was on the stage since I was a little young Brazilian toddler of the winter year. And it so happens that after I got my biochemistry degree, it wasn't necessarily a plan B. It was just something I really, really loved doing. And if acting didn't work out, I'd probably go back and teach internationally. And so now I substitute, and I'll probably do it forever. The Vancouver School District really needs substitute teachers, and I know most of the teachers. So, I'll go in. The other week I went in for a biology teacher and did a squid dissection.
Wow.
The next day I went in for another friend and did Othello. So
this is crazy. I have to ask a couple of follow-ups. Alec, I was a high school principal and in education for about 20 years. When you hire substitute teachers, you're hiring a warm body, like someone to come in there so the children don't die.
Do you know how to press play?
Like legitimately,
press play.
I can do that.
When I'm scrambling around to find a sub, when I was a principal and a teacher was sick and didn't tell me till 6:45 in the morning, it's like, we got to piece this day together. We got to figure it out. You go in and sub, and you can teach a full lesson in science or in the arts.
In three different languages.
So when
need
you get a lesson plan, you just look at it and you're like, yeah, this is easy. I've got it. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, that's correct. I mean, things are done a little bit differently in Canada.
They don't waste days. I got it. I heard what you said.
Yeah. So like a teacher, we're not even called substitutes. We're called teacher on calls. We must all have our teaching degrees.
Okay.
So, and ideally most teacher on calls want to be full-time teachers. And they're paid pretty well as far as the salary scale goes in North America. So there is quite a bit of talent in the teaching pool. It
sounds like when you put money and resources behind education, it goes better. And I'm just spitballing here, but it's what it sounds like.
They haven't tried that yet. They should try it. I think it may work.
Okay.
We'll see. Now, when you got your major, what was the plan with it? What made you want to get into it? And did you end up utilizing it with a job, or did you just kind of slide into the teacher on call biz as you call it?
Yeah. So the idea was I was like pre-med. I was going to become a doctor.
Okay.
I have a mom who's a nurse, and so, but towards the last year, I took the MCATs and everything, but I was very undecided. I also took the LSATs, and just why not?
What is the difference?
Brand you could have made up two acronyms.
I do know MCAT.
I took the FBI's and the NBC's the MSNBC's.
Yeah. What's the difference between those two that you just mentioned?
One's the law school
for the people
degree.
At home. Yeah.
One's the law school entrance exam, and one's the medical school entrance exam.
So he was just deciding between law and medicine.
And then I went
three languages, and then he went to acting. That's right. So two jokers from South Carolina to be like, hey, he could kill somebody.
Yeah.
Oh, you're welcome.
You're welcome. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you decide, you take these tests, you get the degree, the undergrad degree, then you decide it's acting. What was it? What was the final straw or the final pull in that decision?
Well, I was 21 and, not very smart. No, I took one acting class, and I had more excitement and more passion within 2 weeks of that acting class than I had for like 5 years while I was in university.
Wow.
If that makes any sense.
So
I was like, this is it.
You followed your actual dream. Good for you. Good for you, man.
Yeah.
How long did you kind of do the acting classes before, I assume you got some sort of agent or manager or whatever it is.
What was the
that
first
helps.
gig you booked?
Yeah.
The first, so I did acting classes for about 2 years before I
Okay.
even got an agent or anything. And then commercials were really good to me in the beginning. And the first commercial I ever booked actually paid for my education degree.
Wow.
It was a commercial with Jessica Alba.
The Jessica Alba.
She sponsors the Baby of the Year competition.
Full circle.
She sponsors Baby of the Year. I don't know if you knew that.
Baby of the year.
I was never going to tell you that I knew that. Why would I tell you that?
What was the timeout? What was the commercial? What was it for?
It's actually a really good commercial. It's for a company called CCAA in Brazil. And they've done a series of commercial with like uber famous people. And it's an English school. It's an English speaking school in Brazil. And the gist of it is if you learn English through this company, you're capable of doing anything.
Huh.
And so I'm the Brazilian character who runs into Jessica Alba in the Empire State Building. Crazy stuff's going around us. Like there are zombie attacks. There's King Kong. But I'm calm, cool, and collected. And I flirt with her the entire time.
Wow. There you have it.
Yeah.
Man,
It's not a bad gig.
that's a pretty good gig for your first gig.
Yeah, it is. But then your head gets in the clouds and you're like, I'm in, I made it, like
Yeah.
Hollywood royalty. And then 2 years later, then, didn't book it.
Do you have like a memorably bad audition or an audition where you left and you went, what just happened in there?
Oh, yeah. You walk in there. Sometimes the anxiety and the nerves get to you so bad that you can't hear the people in the room. It starts to close down. I definitely had a couple of those. And you forget all your lines. You apologize. You think they'll never call you again. But, you live and you learn. And, right now, most auditions are tapes. So that's
Right.
that's a blessing for some and not for others. But
Do you have a preference between the live audition and the tape audition?
Sounds
I
like
think
he wants the
I
tape.
still do prefer it live. I still
Really?
do prefer it live now. Yeah, because in the end of the day, you just don't know if they watch your tape. Does
Yeah.
that make sense?
Yeah.
There's these big calls sometimes or for big roles, and it just goes into the ether. And it's not that they gave that much feedback in the room. Sometimes it was just a or a huh.
Yeah.
Or at most, or like, that's great, thank you. But even the intonation, we as actors would obsess over the intonation of that's great, thank you. And that was enough. The fact that we had eyeballs, the fact that we had an audience watching us. And now with tapes, it's like, I don't know, maybe they're not even watching.
Wow.
Do you
Yeah,
find
that would bother me.
yourself with the tape like over analyzing it? Like the nice thing about tape is you can do it as many times as you want to perfect it. But sometimes that can, you can get in your head about that as well. Do you find yourself doing that?
Oh yeah, no, you've hit the nail on the head. Yeah, definitely. But even when you're happy with a take, then you put it on a computer and you're like, oh my God, what is this? This is the worst actor I've ever seen. Yeah, and then it's too late. You can't retape it. But yeah,
Man.
you just gotta let go, trust your instincts. Because it truly, like, you watch some tapes that have booked it, and it's like booked some actor did it on an iPhone in a closet in a hotel room because they were shooting. So you really can't think much of it.
Alec, you were Colombian guy in Cocaine Godmother. And I just wanted to say that sentence. Do you have any memories of that movie or maybe what it's about aside from the obvious?
It's a Cocaine Godmother.
So we're going from like 90s stars, right? So Cocaine Godmother was produced, and the main actor in it was Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Wow.
Yeah. And so I do this scene. I'm like a narc. I'm supposed to work for her, but the FBI punches me in the face once, and I give her up.
You just rolled that easy on the Cocaine Godmother? Who do you think you are?
I just rolled. Like I didn't even fight hard. Anyways, that was my character. But at the end of it, this like haggard, like older woman comes to me and says, that was a really great job. And I had no idea who it was. And then 5 minutes later, the director goes, that was Catherine Zeta-Jones. She was just in her whole like makeup and prosthetics.
Oh,
She was playing like 90-year-old version of herself. And I was like, oh my God, that's incredible. But then it gets better because I used to bartend at a fancy, swanky restaurant down here. And she walks in with her entourage and she recognizes me immediately across the bar and goes to the host and goes, I know that's Alec Santos. Can he join us for dinner?
Oh my gosh.
Busy Friday night. I know. So Catherine Zeta-Jones for the win.
Did you bail on your shift to do it? Did they let you?
Yeah, they not only it was my job to go sit and
Yeah.
have wine with Catherine Zeta-Jones.
You
Like,
have to.
can't say no to her.
Man, what's going on? How like you're crushing it, Alec. What like you should be in Hollywood right now. Catherine Zeta-Jones walks in a bar and just knows you.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Right? Yeah.
That's pretty
Man.
nice. Going back just a
The
little bit.
cocaine godmother.
The
Sorry, go
cocaine godmother.
Yeah.
How did you go from the commercial game to beginning to book some of these things, such as Cocaine Godmother and Bates Motel, and some of these things that are early on in your filmography?
Yeah, it's the classic, like bit rolls, and then one roll is right for you, then another, and it's just the ball starts to roll. Sometimes you book something that's like 3 bookings in a row in like 6 months, and then you'll go a year or 2 without booking. You just gotta keep on going. Like with Hallmark, I auditioned tons and tons for Hallmark, and the casting directors would come back to me and say, "You look too young. Like you're just too young.
Don't you hate that?
You're in between. Like you look like you should be a lead, but you also look like one of the kids. Like I don't know. We're not there yet. Like
Every Hallmark lead is supposed to be 33 to 39 years old. If they're 50 in real life, that's what they're supposed to be. Which is crazy.
Right. It is crazy.
What a note, though. You just look
that-
too good.
Yeah.
You look too young, Alec. There's nothing we can do about this.
It's
We don't
like
want youngsters.
sometimes you look like you could win Toddler of the Year this year, and it's like, well, that's no good. Yeah, well, I don't know what to do with that. That's too much. I see Arrow on here, which is a fun one.
Agent Dan.
Agent Dan. And I know a lot of those like CW type shows film up in Canada and stuff. That must have been a pretty fun one.
Oh yeah. That was up there. It was one of my first shows, and
Yeah.
I played a bumbling fool of an agent, and it was a very fun scene, very funny. But network TV, that was like my first foray really into network TV, and it was crazy. Like you get there and it's so regimented. You arrive somewhere. The main actors, I won't even say, if you watch my scene, he didn't even know his lines. So it was like, I've spent my whole life and my career at that point trying to be so perfect, and the main guy just shows up and it's like, I don't know my lines. Let's just figure this out. And so, it was eye opening. It taught me that, because he was still really good, even though he didn't know his lines. It says he's there to sell his character. The lines will come to him eventually. So
There you have it. At what point, and maybe, I'm sorry, I just saw in here that you were a boom operator in 2023 for a movie. Is that true?
no, I don't know. That's inaccurate.
Okay. I was about to say, what are you working around the clock, Alec? Are you in all these movies? You're substitute teaching at the school, and you're boom operating on
he's not.
movies?
No boom operating.
Okay. That makes me feel better about my life and my choices. At what point, and maybe I'd get the feeling you're going to be humble Canadian and say you're not there yet, but at what point did you this is a career I'm going to be an actor, and that's going to how I'm going to make a living? Was it the commercial?
You already took my answer. I wanted to be the humble Canadian. Now, what am I going to be? The brash Brazilian?
Yeah, brash Brazilian.
Yeah, I think not with the commercials. I had an acting mentor from the beginning. Says you can't rely on acting to pay your bills, even when you're making money in the first few years, just because it'll take some of your love for the craft away. So I think it was when I booked my Hallmark lead role. I think it's when it really felt, because at the same time I booked the series regular role for a show called Sight Unseen here, and but I don't know, you can't take it for granted. Next year I might not book anything. I don't know.
Yeah, you mentioned your mom was a doctor, correct?
A nurse.
A nurse. Okay. When you tell her that I know I've graduated and I took the MCAT and the LSAT.
Yep.
But I think I want to do acting. Did that take some convincing for her to be like, absolutely, you should definitely do that? Or is she still getting convinced? Is she still like, he'll come around eventually and become a doctor?
No, it's going to sound really annoying, but my parents were like, go for it. I kind of I've been paying my own way since college. They helped out a little bit, but not very much. So I was always I didn't rely on them for any money or anything, so they couldn't really say anything.
Mhm.
But that being said, like my mom's my biggest fan. Like I went to go visit her in San Diego, and she's like, "Oh, we're just gonna go out this morning. I'm gonna take you for breakfast." She takes me to the Hallmark store. You know what I mean? She can like parade me around. She's like, "This is my son."
I love that.
I love
Yeah,
it.
so no, she is living vicariously through me, and I'm okay with it.
That's
Fantastic.
fantastic. Your first Hallmark role is a movie we often get the title wrong around here
I
on
don't, but-
Rise and Shine Benedict Stone.
What do you like to call it?
I don't remember now.
Up and Adam Benedict Cumberbatch?
Wake up, Benedict something. I don't remember what it was. Rise and Shine Benedict Stone. How did you finally go from being too young for Hallmark for the casting directors to it is a yes for this role?
Well, I don't know if you remember that movie. You don't even remember the title, but
Fair.
I played a unsavory character. So at least I went from he's the character. He's a total meanie. Is that okay?
Yeah, you can say
Go for it.
meanie.
You say whatever you want,
Yeah,
man.
you can say meanie. We'll allow it.
Meanie.
And he's just the sort of the antithesis of what the good character is. I'm just a big old mean guy. I drive a motorcycle, and I'm not supposed to be there. So, I went from being too young to then being the bad guy, and now I've slowly transitioned into the good guy.
Yeah.
You got to work your way up, man.
Was there, were you aware at the time, 2021 is when that movie came out, of kind of what Hallmark is, or what how big of a deal it is here in the States, knowing that up in Canada, the movie has come up there in a variety of different ways? What was kind of your knowledge of Hallmark and the Hallmark cinematic universe, as we like to call it?
Yeah, I mean, like a lot of people, I knew about the card company, and I knew that these Christmas movies existed.
Right.
And my mom watched a little bit of it, but yeah, I had no idea. Like, I had no idea there was such a fandom. I had no idea that other than football, it was like the most watched thing on cable. And so ignorance is bliss, because if I had known that, I would have fumbled maybe that first job. I'd have probably thought too much. I'd have been like, there are guys in podcasts that are just going to rip me apart, and I don't know what to do.
Of course. You also did a movie that next year called Planning on Forever. You're the lead along with Emily Tennant. Not on Hallmark, directed by Danny Boyle. I'm assuming a different Danny Boyle.
Who's Danny Boyle?
He did 28 Days Later.
Okay, maybe the same day. Maybe
Slumdog
we don't know.
Millionaire. I doubt Danny Boyle.
It could be Danny
in
Boyle.
2022 did Planning on Forever, but I could be wrong.
Big
It
fan.
also says Danny J. Boyle on here. I think it made pretty.
It's Danny Boyle.
It's Danny Boyle. We'll say it's Danny Boyle. Where did that movie air? Like, where it looks like two quality leads. Can you pitch me on that movie? Pitch me on Planning on Forever.
Planning on Forever is a story about, I don't even know her name, Emily.
Yep.
She reluctantly becomes her sister's wedding planner.
Okay.
But on the way, she falls in love with her soon-to-be brother-in-law's best friend, or not, because he's also supposed to help. And then they both reluctantly start helping with his wedding. It's kind of like you. He doesn't like weddings. She loves weddings. They come together to build the perfect wedding, and voila, it becomes about them and not the couple getting married.
I love it.
Yeah. And then you did a Christmas in July movie. Is that when you found out that Christmas in July was a thing with Campfire Christmas? Is that how you discovered that Christmas in July?
Yeah. So my dad, I didn't know this, but at the time I booked this role, and my dad's partner, Lori, she has a daughter that went to a summer camp that did Christmas in July.
Oh,
And essentially the movie is about the summer camp. I had no idea. It was very coincidental.
that's wild.
So yeah, I mean, why not? Christmas is a magical time of the year. Why not make
That's
it?
right.
You said it.
Now that movie is starring Corbin Bleu, who we also host a show on the network that covers Disney Channel original movies, of which Corbin Bleu has been in quite a few. Was he just dancing around a set? Did he do any flips? We just watched a movie of his called Jump In, where he's literally flipping around
It's
Brooklyn.
literally the only jump rope competition movie ever made.
That's exactly right. So it's a pretty big deal. Was he jumping? Like, was he just, that's how he got around camp, was just flips?
Basically, yeah, he floats. There's no, kind of like the Martian from the old school Disney cartoons, right?
Oh,
Float.
the Martian.
Did
Yes,
did
yes.
people sing High School Musical songs around him, or did they?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely sang High School. I tried to bounce a basketball around.
Uh-huh.
He confessed to me that he's not a very good basketball player. So I was like, oh.
If you watch closely,
Are
in
you
the
a
movie,
baller? Are you a
you'll-
baller, Alec? You play ball?
I do. I play basketball. Yeah, I played varsity in Miami.
Yeah.
Played varsity in Miami.
In Miami, that is doing something.
Yeah, that's pretty good. You got do you got a team that you watch?
I'm Miami Heat.
Yeah.
Gotta be a homer. They
Yeah,
haven't been very good. In the
That's
past.
tough for
Sure.
Brand. Brand's from Florida. He's a Magic fan.
Diehard Orlando Magic fan.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
They're up and up. Franz Wagner.
that's
they
right.
got-
Well, but we'll wrap
Oh, he
this
knows
up.
it. He knows his
That's
stuff
right.
too.
He went with
I love
Franz
it.
too, which is nice.
I got to talk about the unwrapping movies, which we
Yeah.
had a blast with your movie, regardless of what we said. And there are 4 of these movies.
Yeah.
You do, I think, at least make an appearance in all 4. Can you walk me through how many days on set that is for you and how it is shot? Because I'm fascinated by. I would assume that they save money by doing this because they can do some things on the same day. So to make their days, like instead of, we hear these movies are 15 days long, instead of 60 days to shoot 4 movies, I bet they make their days and my guess would be there's fewer days. That's how they save money. Am I anywhere in the ballpark of correct? How many days did you shoot on it?
Yeah, so typically a Hallmark movie is shot in like 15 days, right? So this one was similar, but there is that final scene of the movie where it's kind of the same in every movie.
Yep.
Those are called the crossover scenes, and they were all shot together in a week. And so basically the climax of every film, you have every character, all of the main girls, and in order to save money, we were all there. So in a strange way, I arrived there, and I shot the crossover scene first.
Oh.
So not my movie. But 2 other movies had shot their entire movie.
Wow.
And so I think movie 3, they went away for 2 months and came back and then shot the crossover films.
Oh my
So it was very strange to just jump into this character in this moment without an introduction. But yeah, that was pretty wild.
That's fascinating, and to show up and have to film the scenes where there's a rapping competition, and that's the first thing out of the gate. You got to film the rapping competition.
The rapping the rules make total sense.
Yeah, break down those rules for us of the rapping competition if you don't mind. That'd be really good for us.
Wow. I mean, that's a lot.
Yeah, there's
How
a
much
lot
time
there.
Do you guys have like at least an hour?
Yeah, we got time.
The rules. The
You
rules
want
are-
to
I
share
got a whole
your,
book here.
you said you had prepared a spreadsheet. You're going to share your screen.
share
I
your
think.
screen,
Yeah.
share your screen.
Yeah, Excel or Google Sheets.
Yeah,
It doesn't
Either-
matter. It
either
doesn't matter to
fine.
us
Both
either
are
way.
fine.
Now we were excited about the movie that you were in because it was the return of Natalie Hall, who we
Dear
love
friend
on
of the
network.
show. We
She's been on the show
love
before,
Natalie, yeah.
and we hadn't seen her in a movie in a couple years, so we were really excited to have her back on the network. I imagine an absolute delight to work with Natalie Hall.
Oh man, absolute delight, and such a superstar. You're talking about toddler of the year. She's got 2 of them.
Yeah,
Wow.
And that's why she took some time off, was to be with her babies. And she had them there. She brought them there to Ottawa.
Wow.
Her mom came along with her, and she would, we'd work 12, 14-hour days and then go home to her kids.
Man.
And it was like, sometimes it was, when you get a call time, it's like 11 a.m. You're like, great, I can sleep in. Like, no, her kids are waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and she's full on mom, full on present, full on. And she'd come to set and then be our mom, be like. So it was in all the great ways. She just cares so much about people.
She's
the best.
That is, I can imagine her doing it all too, which is the thing.
For sure.
That's unbelievable. We love her. So you do those 4 movies, and you also so you were really in 5 Christmas movies for Hallmark last year, if you think about it, which is more than Tyler Hines was in.
That's
I'm
right.
not saying
He's the new Tyler
Alex
Hines.
Santos is the new Tyler Hines, but I'm not saying it.
Move
know
over,
what I mean?
Andrew Walker. Alex Santos is here.
5 movies for Hallmark in 1 calendar year. How's that feel?
All the rest are cameos, but thank you so much.
No, we're gonna give you.
Stop it.
We're gonna give it. We're gonna give it to you.
Tell me about Confessions of a Christmas Letter, a movie that in the first 5 or 10 minutes, if you know the script of Hallmark movies, which we've seen hundreds around here, 750 at least, I would say.
Wow.
You get so used to what the opening 20 minutes of a Hallmark movie is like. And this movie was not like that at all. In fact, I was wondering if I was watching a real movie or not. I didn't know what was going on. But then it turns into this really like screwball, fish out of water, like if they have to lie about this card and they lie about you and it actually is pretty funny. The reason I think you wanted Brian here is it was one of Brian's favorite movies of the year.
Right.
I actually enjoyed it.
Gave it a pump fist.
A lot more like as it continued to go on and you kind of give yourself to the lunacy of this movie, which is not something we would ever say about a Hallmark movie. But this movie becomes just a snowball rolling downhill of just zany and weird. And it's really funny. And like you lean into this character and you're working with the big pitch of this movie was the lead of The Office. I don't remember her name off the top of my head. Angela Kinsey. Tell me about that experience and working on that film.
So it was exactly that, right? It was zany, it was wild, and it was like that on set. Like our poor director so many times had to like quiet down, guys, relax now. It was because it's Angela Kinsey from The Office, also like an improv genius. Yeah. It was the guy who played her husband is a very famous comedian too in Canada called Fred Ewanuk. He's in a show called Corner Gas. And so it was, and then the guy who played her dad is also I think he has more IMDb credits than anyone on the planet because he's done not just movies, but also like he's the voice of like Optimus Prime and stuff like that.
Oh, wow.
He was a riot.
So,
he was really funny.
Oh my God. We couldn't stop laughing the entire time. And it was really hard to play my characters as the straight character. Everyone sort of goes through the journey in it because it was, oh man, it was a joy, but your belly hurt at the end of the day because we were laughing so hard.
But you took my follow-up, which is your character has to be like earnest. Like everybody else is like going to the nth degree to get this Christmas card done. Your character has to be pretty earnest throughout the film. I
think my character's name was Juan, not Ernest, but that's okay.
But you have to be earnest. You're a dude playing a dude. Yeah. You have to be very like intentional and serious and like, you know, like you're not in on the bit per se. And that's tough in that room. It was
very like, all right, center yourself. This isn't, like I was, the whole culture clash had to come through. The whole like, I'm being held hostage here. The whole Stockholm syndrome aspect of it. It was great because that's what they wanted to do. Hallmark wanted to do something completely new. I think a lot of the complaints over the years is like, come on, just like show us something new, and they did. And the reviews are definitely mixed. Yeah. A lot of people are like, but they took a swing and it was something different.
As someone that has to watch as many of these as I do, like I applaud the swing. Like so many times I just want to see a movie that the degree of difficulty is higher. And so that movie was way higher in my rankings than Brand's. He liked it the least. I'll just throw him under the bus right now.
I don't know.
Because
true?
I appreciated the swing of the film. Like I appreciated the gamble of this is not what Hallmark does. And I really enjoyed that. Are you pulling up your list right now?
Yeah, I'm going to pull my list. I want to see. I want to see where I put it. How do you decide, Alec? When
it was a top 12 movie of the year for me.
Okay,
Alec, top 12 Christmas movie. Confessions of a Christmas Letter.
I want to say with the Unwrapping movies, you had an accent. Am I remembering that correctly?
No, the Unwrapping accent. The
Christmas Letter.
I couldn't remember which one it was. How do you?
Also, as Colombian guy in the Cocaine Godmother.
Yeah. I know that. I know that.
I'm sure there was an accent.
I had an accent as well. Yeah.
With Confessions, how did that? How did you decide? Hey, this is the one where, like, was that a note from Hallmark? Like, we want you to have an accent going into it.
Yeah, I'm not generally deciding whether my character has an accent or not. It comes from production, but it was a conversation with production. And this one in particular was to just denote the contrast between this, very white American family and then this Puerto Rican guy, because, I'm of white complexion too. So, it might have helped the cultural difference if I just have an accent out there as well. So to be fair, I mean, I did grow up, I did have an accent. It was acting that like, I started speaking with an American accent one day, and then I was like, oh, I can do this forever. And so, accents do come pretty easily for me. And the character being Puerto Rican, I made sure I had some Puerto Rican intonations, and the way I spoke in Spanish is Puerto Rican. So
yeah, Puerto Rican Spanish, they don't finish a lot of the ends of those words. It's a very slang version of Spanish, and it
and a lot of the R's become L's. Yeah,
right.
for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
I went to Puerto Rico and found that out the hard way. I thought I knew Spanish
You're
pretty
trying
decently.
to show off your Spanish.
And then I realized I was in well over my head in Puerto Rico. I was not capable of speaking whatever they were speaking. I couldn't do it. If you're in a room, Portuguese is being spoken, Spanish is being spoken, English is being spoken, is it easy to keep all of that straight? And what's the easiest in your brain? What is your brain operating on? Your brain's got to operate on one and translate to the other two, right?
Yeah, they say like you're only supposed to dream in one language, but I definitely dream in Spanish and in English.
Oh,
not in Portuguese, weirdly. But yeah, no, once you're in a room with everything starts to come out, the Spanglish, the Portuñol, they call it, like, I don't even know what language I'm speaking anymore. So that's basically what happens.
I had a 23rd, by the way. 23rd.
You had 23rd.
Listen.
Didn't even make his top 20. That's in the bottom 50%.
Aren't there like 60 of them?
There's 40 movies.
It wasn't bad. That's not.
I was a top 12 Hallmark Christmas movie for me. So
43 last year.
Yeah.
When you say top 12, you know that it's number 12. You know what I mean? Because otherwise it'd be top 10.
That's true.
Top 12. It could be anywhere from 12 to 1. Alec, it could be anywhere from 12 to 1.
Everybody's favorite characterizing of numbers is
top 12. It's the top 12.
We're going to do top 12.
Right. Yeah.
You mentioned Sight Unseen, which I believe is a Canadian program. Tell us about that. I'd like to see it. If you're in 8 episodes, I want to see those 8 episodes.
So it was a combination with CW in the first year, and then now it's just I think they're going to sell it to a streaming show. It is a cop procedural show.
Okay.
One crime happens every episode, it gets solved.
You love a procedural, Dan.
I do love a procedural.
I play the main character's brother. She's a cop and she's going blind, but she doesn't want to leave the force. And so she teams up with
Sight Unseen. That's good.
Yeah.
She's always connected. Someone watches the world for her, and it's her relationship with this other person who also happens to be agoraphobic, meaning they can't leave the house that they live in. So it's a cool little dynamic. I play her unsavory mess up of a brother. I'm on the other side of the law, so I present to be a lot of not very Hallmarky at all. My character is wild. My character is so I'm kind of the foil to her character in the show. I'm also a bit of it's a very serious show, and I come in to offer comic relief.
Got it.
Okay. Mike, it seems like you've played a Hallmark bad guy, a CW bad guy, and a Hallmark lead. What's a challenge you'd like to take in the acting world from a genre or character standpoint that you've yet to take on?
I don't know much of a challenge, but I just want to ride a horse. You know what I mean? Give me on a cowboy show. I really wanna, that's what I want to do next.
You want to ride a horse?
Yeah. There was a Hallmark show called Ride.
Do you know how to, like, you're capable of
but
riding horses? Like, you don't have to learn this? You just...
I can. Yeah, I did. I spent about 6 months in Costa Rica taking people on horseback riding trips.
All right. Of course you did, Alec. We get it.
Yeah.
We get it.
My life is not that exciting. It is. Very exciting.
Yeah. It's tough. It's tough when you're Alex Santos.
You can ride a horse whenever you want to, right? Like, you don't need a gig.
I took people on horse riding trips in Costa Rica.
Yeah, that's true. But like, when you go out here to tell somebody that you know how to horseback ride, like if you're at a farm and you know everyone, then I can really I can mess around with the horse. I can do some crazy stuff. Here you go to trail, like they won't really let you gallop because it depends on the horse. It might get hurt. So when you go all out in a farm, you can, because like my job, I was pretty young, and my job in the beginning was just to tire them out because they're not pedigreed horses. So I just hop on them and tire them out so they wouldn't drop tourists later in the day.
Wow.
So I got fucked many times, and yeah, it's a little bit different.
Do you got a cowboy hat handy nearby, or? You need to pick it up?
Here, no, I should. I
You
definitely
really
had one
should.
there.
Yeah.
6
on
months?
there.
Why?
What
Why
you-
6
what
months?
you
What was
don't-
going on for 6 months that you need to be in Costa Rica?
Well, I just took 6 months off school too.
Yeah. Biochemistry gets tough from time to
gets
time.
tough.
We're going
What-
to teach horse riding.
What you don't know is that we're actually currently booking a cowboy movie, and if you had the hats,
We could have booked you right
Oh,
now.
man.
Could have booked you right now.
You can't picture me with a hat. Can you just like put one of those hats on my head? Like,
Yeah.
no.
We'll do it in post.
We'll do it in post.
File it
Yeah,
on
it'll be really-
TH. Yeah.
It's gonna be really good. That gets us to this upcoming
The
movie,
Machu Picchu proposal.
Machu Picchu Proposal with the fish. This had to be such a great time.
She's just not a ray of sunshine at all, is she?
No, not at all. No, just a poor, mean human.
She's a real
No,
meanie.
I was like, I watched some of her movies. My, full disclosure, my partner's mom is a huge Hallmark fan, huge. And so I watched a couple of her movies and I was like, wow, this is the bubbliest, nicest person ever. I wonder, she can't be like that in real life. There's no way. Come on. Like, that's got to be a bit. And she is.
Yeah.
She's exactly like that. She is the nicest human,
Yeah.
That's and she was just coming off Polar Opposites, which you guys reviewed.
Yep.
Does she
And,
only do travel movies?
She only
now,
does travel
or
movies to take
what's up
trips.
with her?
Be honest.
So I know. So you guys, do you want to know why she does travel movies?
I would love to hear it.
I'll give you the scoop.
Yeah, give it to me.
The reason why she does is because she's such a superstar. Now, I don't mean that in terms of like, she's a great actor and she really sells these movies, but these travel movies, even though they look incredible on the outside, they're pretty tough. You're doing 17-hour days because you're waking up sometimes and then getting on a bus to go 3 hours away to then start shooting. There are no trailers. There is no like in films you have that whole snack area. There's no snack area.
There's no snack area.
There's no craft.
No, there's
What's
a snack person.
What is the
No
point
snack
of
area.
making movies if there's not a snack table?
Also-
I know, crafty. My God, that changed my life. Yeah.
This guy gets it.
So the why does she do that if it's 17 hours? Like, what's the impetus then?
Well, because she doesn't complain.
Oh,
She will do it, and
So they
she
keep
will be
asking her.
fantastic at it. And it takes, but it's not just that. So it's not just the comfort level of it. It's we're shooting in real plazas. Machu Picchu still had tourists there that day. Dogs are barking, sirens are going, and when you're shooting those scenes, you don't stop them. You're like in the scene. You still hold character. You let the sound go, and then you continue. So she is so adept at working in very difficult environments that that's why they keep inviting her to do these things.
to that point, with these movies that are filmed, a lot of them outside, a lot of them with you can't control the environment. How much of like this movie that we're talking about, you have to go back? Like, how much of the movie is ADR versus the audio that's actually recorded on site?
Yeah, so I thought we would have a lot of ADR, but we had our shout out to our sound guy,
Shout
boombox operator Axel.
Axel,
Somehow
Danny
captured a
Boyle.
lot of it. And we don't. I only did a little bit of ADR. Oh, maybe that means they cut me from the movie, and that's the ADR.
Yeah.
Clap.
Could
Yeah.
be.
Yeah,
It's
that's
an
how you
awkward
find
interview if you're not in the movie.
That's how you found out you're not in the
Yeah.
movie anymore.
Oh, boy.
That's tough. That's tough.
They AI'd Tyler Hines' face
Yeah.
on mine. Yeah. they did.
Do you get a little extra money for the longer hours? A little extra something? I'm asking about the money.
I'll tell you this. I won't disclose how much, but I said I got paid in American dollars for the first time.
Oh,
So,
is that
yeah.
good? Isn't the Canadian dollar better right now?
No, it's not better.
Okay, great. Good to know. We're
It's
doing
like,
it.
I
guys.
think one Canadian dollar gets me 77 American cents.
Mm,
Well, you're
wow.
welcome.
You're welcome. Had you been to Machu Picchu before?
I'm gonna tell you another crazy story.
Yeah,
Sorry to be
please
that
do.
guy, So I mentioned I went to middle school in Chile, and my best friend at the time had moved to Peru. And so for the summer, my parents are like, you know what? We're sick of you. You're gonna go to hang out with your friend in Peru. I'm like, great. So we're at the beach, and we have this whole thing scheduled. We're gonna go to Machu Picchu with his family, but I get into this major accident. Now we talk about playing basketball.
Mm-hmm.
The rim, I dunked the ball and I hung on the rim, and it was made of glass.
10-foot goal, Alec, be honest.
You know, I'll never say.
Yeah. that's
So
what
the
I thought.
backboard was made of glass, you
Yeah.
mean, right?
Yeah.
Not
I
the
made it
rim.
made of real glass. I
Yeah.
mean, the average Peruvian is 5 feet tall, and that's no lie. So I figured no one could probably dunk on this rim. And yeah, I hung on it. It was made of glass, and it came down. Glass showered on me. And I was in a really, really bad condition. My friend ran and
shacked
got
it.
his dad.
He shacked the goal.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
But it was
dog-in-handed.
real glass. So I was going to do some. And it turns out my friend's dad worked for the American Embassy. And so the American Marine sent a helicopter to this beach. They saved my life. I got 177 stitches, and I was kind of hospitalized for a week, and I didn't make it to Machu Picchu.
When you say kind of hospitalized, you weren't half in, half out, right? You were hospitalized.
Fully.
Just my leg, my bottom down. I was,
Got it.
That's how bad he was.
I'm
They couldn't even.
ESL. English is my second language.
Oh my God! Here we go. Here we go.
So hold on. So the backboard shatters, and by the time you land on the ground, the glass is now in a billion pieces, and you just fall on it, and you're just rolling
Yeah, so some
around.
of it is in my back. No, so the biggest one was in my leg that missed my femoral artery by like an inch. Yeah, it was gross. Not safe for work. The description of it.
Did somebody at least get a picture at how amazing this had to have looked for you to dunk
Yeah,
you
did
dunked
get
a basketball goal and shattered the backboard. That's
It's
the
not
whole
on video
thing.
or anything.
No, I mean this is 2002.
Get the
So, yeah, we
camcorder
didn't
out
have
there,
something.
bro. Come on.
Right? I know.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
The technology was there too.
Can you still dunk?
I can like grab rim. Can no longer. I can dunk like a tennis ball and a volleyball because I can grip it, but no.
So high school, you could dunk pretty easily.
No, I couldn't dunk easily. I had to like, take a running 5
Right.
steps.
I got you.
It was one of those ugly, but yeah, in my head I could dunk. You know
Yeah.
what I
In
mean?
your head, you could
How
dunk.
how tall
Yeah.
are
I
you?
was throwing it down. I'm 6'2".
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I could dunk if I was 6'2".
No, you couldn't.
Yeah.
No, you couldn't.
You haven't seen me jump.
Yeah.
In
I
the-
have. I
Yeah.
have seen you jump.
All right, I'll do it right now. Okay, I'll jump.
Oh,
What
let's
is that
go.
going to prove?
You gotta cut.
You're going to go wide? What are you going to do? There you go.
I'll come. Okay, here we go. Ready?
I'm
Watch.
ready.
Okay.
Yeah.
We
Watch
ready?
that cord not light
Yeah,
that
I'm
you're not going to
the
hit.
cord.
No, of course you're not.
I'm gonna go as hard as I can.
Go as hard as you can.
Wow.
Man, what a nice guy Alec is.
Your turn.
I would hit that.
You would hit it.
Yeah.
You would hit it.
Yeah.
Okay. Machu Picchu proposal that comes out
This Saturday.
Recording is this Saturday. That's exactly right. We're really looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. Let's do rapid fire, Dan.
That's right.
Rapid fire. We each get to ask you 3 questions. They can be about anything. Unlike, I'm out of breath from the one jump.
That's terrible.
So take it over.
So we can ask you any. It's the rapid fire is just like what we've been doing, but I guess quicker on our end. You take as long as you want. You got more fun stories, you tell them. But these questions are even more random than what we've been asking. I'll start. What's the best cut of meat at a churrascaria?
Picanha.
Picanha. That's right.
Picanha.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Got that fat cap on it. Just salt and pepper on there.
That's exactly. You've had it. My
Oh,
goodness. Yeah. I think it translates to like rump steak. It's a very particular Brazilian cut, but it is insanely.
This
good.
is not about me, but my uncle started a multi-level marketing thing that's pretty famous in Brazil. Like he was one of the guys that helped start like basically Amway for Brazil.
What's it called?
Wow. Okay.
Quick Star is what it was called, but it was basically Amway, and he lived in Brazil for most of his life. He was my great uncle, so
okay.
he's since passed. But he would always, when I would visit him in Savannah, when he moved back to Savannah, Georgia, he would always talk about churrascarias, and then he took me to one of what he said was as close to authentic in the low state of Georgia. That's how I knew the whole tutorial.
Yeah. No, what a cool story.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you have the green card and sort of the
Yes,
red card.
yeah.
More meat, less meat. Yeah.
Boom. Yeah. No, it's really my dream that every meal is a churrascaria. That would be fantastic for me.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Let's try this. I'm worried that your biases will sway you here, but MJ or LeBron, who you got?
Ooh.
Oh my God.
Oh, now's the time. Rapid fire got real.
I'm like right in between both of them, right? I'm
Mhm.
like the millennial, but LeBron's my age. We're a little bit older. He's 41. I'm gonna say MJ is the best basketball player ever, but I'm gonna tell you I like LeBron more.
Sure.
Does that make sense?
That's
I
fair.
got you.
Does that make sense? When I heard MJ's, because I was
Yeah.
such a huge fan, and I remember being like 18, and he did his Hall of Fame speech, and I was just like, this is great. He's just gonna say how, but all he did was just
you rag on people.
oh, it was so intense. I was like, I can't idolize that guy anymore. You know, like that's so.
Yeah, he
but I was
doesn't.
heartbroken.
He's not here for any character points. He just isn't.
Well, that's why, like, you heard that he's gonna be on NBC next year, right? Talking basketball.
I heard that.
Like, I can't wait to hear
Yeah, me
what
either.
he doesn't talk about basketball. So I'm really intrigued to
Does
see
not.
what he
But
has to say.
in his interview too, he's got like, you guys have to stop comparing like eras. Like clearly everyone's better in this era, and it was like really interesting because I expected Michael Jordan to be like. So I don't know. So maybe I think he'll surprise people.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I'm
Who
excited
knows?
about it.
Who knows?
Dana?
All right, so Brazil, Miami, California. You were in Costa Rica for a while. What is a site if I'm traveling to South or Central America? What's like an underrated site I need to see that would maybe not be first page of the travel books?
Underrated site that you must see. It's well, I'm going to give you two. I think Rio de Janeiro, although it's famous and the crisis famous, it really, really is something out of this world. It looks like the Jurassic Park scene when you land. Like that is how intensely beautiful it is, and it's a metropolis on top of it. So it's like imagine New York in a incredible looking jungle. So Rio de Janeiro. And then my second one is Buenos Aires. Buenos Aires is like if Paris had a second city in South America. It is romantic. The wine is cheap. The chorizo beef is cheap, and life is good there.
Stop selling, man.
Pick one of these gums to chew. Bazooka gum, the tape gum that comes in a circle.
Bubble tape?
Bubble,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then the Big League Chew.
It's the dumbest
Bazooka.
question
Oh my
we've
God,
ever been
they're
asked.
all like I used to love all those as a kid, and as an adult, I don't like any of those. I don't know.
Well, you have to pick one. That's the game.
That's the
No, if I'm
rapid
gonna
fire.
chew gum, it better be cleaning my teeth at the same time. I don't. I'm gonna say the Big League Chew.
Good answer.
Your most memorable movie theater going experience. So it doesn't have to be your favorite movie of all time, but you saw this in the theater and it was just like that was amazing or that was very special for some reason or another.
Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring.
Wow. Why?
Yeah. I was such a huge fan of the books, and I was so nervous. I think I was 14, 15 years old when it came out. And I think I was in tears the whole time. I was just like, this is the most incredible movie I've ever seen. I want to be in this. Movies are my life. And I think
awesome.
that had a huge impact on me. And so did the suspense horror film Seven.
Oh, yeah.
But for different reasons.
You didn't want to go kill people while your daughter takes pictures, right? Got it.
Fair. We come to visit you for a day, and we tell you
Which is on the calendar.
Which
We
is on
will
the
not
calendar.
tell you when.
Yeah.
That's right.
We're just going to show up.
Perfect.
What are we doing?
What are we doing? Well, Vancouver, we have a lot to do in Vancouver, so I'd probably take you on a little bit of a hike. I mean, you were a little out of breath in that jump.
I'm
Well,
worried
I don't
about
need
Brain.
the
I got to
ju-
be
I don't
honest.
need the
No,
judgment
it's fair.
really
It
from
wasn't
you.
judgment. It's just fact.
Okay, fine. We'll go on the hike.
No, we're taking. It's called Quarry Rock. We're going to go there in North Van, and then at the end, there's this wonderful place called Honey's Donuts, which we'll eat some fantastic donuts. And we'll come home, and my partner Tara, she is the best cook in the world, and she's going to make you some carnitas tacos.
Ooh.
There you
That sounds like
You got
quite a
This is
day.
gonna be a
You
really good
coming
day.
over?
It's gonna be a good day.
Sounds like cool. Listen, let's put it on the calendar. Don't say we won't. I'm just telling you, we'll do it. We'll book the flights. We got credit card points, man.
No, I'm serious too. You're here, or we'll make a party out of it.
Yeah.
Sure.
The thing is everybody that's in Vancouver, they say that and they all mean it. I know they do. We're very
Too
good
nice.
friends with Antonio Caon, who runs 3 restaurants up in that area and also acts in the movies. And he comes down to visit us, and he is always very like, when you get here, we're going to do this and this, and he means it. He means it. You guys are just better. You're just better than we are.
That's right.
Yeah.
They're better. Nonprofit?
Nonprofit, we end every show asking our guest to spotlight a nonprofit that is near and dear to their heart, and then we're going to give some money to it and ask you to do the same. Alec, what nonprofit have you brought for us today?
So the nonprofit we have today is called AfriKids Inc. The reason it's called Inc. is because there's 2 of them out there, and it's run by by Lori, who is my partner's dad, and by Lori, who is my dad's partner, and my dad, Ian McCluskey, and they send dozens of kids in Tanzania to school. And not only do they graduate school with skills, but then they follow them through university and make sure they have life skills that will help them for the rest of their life. And they usually tend to be either orphans or kids in dire needs and situations. So that's what it's called, AfriKids Inc. It's in Tanzania, by the way, the charity.
Fantastic. If you send me the link to the website or the best way to give, we'll make sure to include that in the show notes as well. So
Fantastic.
that people find the right ones. We would hate for AfriKids LLC
or org.
Yeah, we don't want them to get. We don't want to get any of it.
What if I got the website up? Don't worry, the ink one. This is fantastic, Alec. You were fantastic. Thank you so much for your time. You were just the best of the best. We really do appreciate it. Please come back and join us again.
Well, thanks so much. This is a blast. Yeah, thank you.
Until next time, I'll be the first to wish you a Merry Christmas.
Deck the Hallmarks of Bramble Jam podcast is produced by Aaron Shea. For more information on Deck the Hallmark, you can go to deckthehallmark.com. For more information on the Deck the Hallmark family, you can go to bramblejamplus.com. Deck the Hallmark is presented by Philo TV. For a free trial of Philo, go to philo.tv/DTH.